So good day everyone, I am Jovelyn H. Perez from BS Add 2 English to discuss the learner's role, the teacher's role, and the instructional materials role in a natural approach classroom. So here's the objective of our study. So at the end of the lesson, you will be able to first know the learner's role in a natural approach classroom. Second is to differentiate the stages of linguistic development. So third is to know the four kinds of responsibilities of the learners in a natural approach classroom. Then fourth is to know the teacher's role in a natural approach classroom. And lastly is to know the instructional materials role in a natural approach classroom. So now let's proceed to the learner's role. So the learner's role tends to change and develop during the natural approach course because there are various stages that they have to go through. So these roles of the learners change according to their stage of linguistic development. So there is a basic assumption in the natural approach that learners do not try to learn a language in usual way. So here the language acquirer or the student itself is seen as the processor of the comprehensible input. So here are the stages of linguistic development, wherein the first stage is the pre-production stage. So in pre-production stage, the learners or the students participate in the language activity without having to respond in the target language. So for example, students can act out physical commands. They can also identify student colleagues from teacher description. They can also point to pictures and so on. So here in pre-production stage, the students are not forced to respond orally and they are allowed to decide when to start to speak. So last but not the least is the speech emergent phase. So this is the last stage of linguistic development. So here the students are involved themselves in role plays and games. They are also trying to contribute personal information and opinions, and they are trying to participate group problem solving. So unlike the two mentioned stages, they are not just using the simple words, but then they are trying to apply all of the knowledge that they had from their acquisition and learning. So now let's proceed to the four types of learners' responsibility in a natural approach classroom. So the first is to provide information about their specific goals so that acquisition activities can focus on the topic and situation most relevant to their needs. So it is important for the learners to have their clear goals to settle because these goals will be the basis of what activities we must apply to achieve our goals in language acquisition. So next to this is to take an active role in ensuring comprehensible input. So meaning they should learn and use conversational management techniques to regulate input. So it is important to be active doing the activities to practice and enhance our skills and knowledge. So the third one is to decide when to start producing speech and when to upgrade. So meaning we must have a specific time and event when to apply speech and when to be creative to upgrade it. So lastly, where learning exercise are to be part of the program, decide with the teacher the relevant amount of time to be devoted to them and perhaps even complete and correct them independently. So next to this is the teacher's role in a natural approach classroom. So the natural approach teacher has three central roles. So the first role is the teacher is the primary source of the comprehensible input in the target language, meaning the class time is devoted primarily to providing input for the acquisition. So the teacher is the primary generator of that input. In this role, the teacher is required to generate constant flow of language while providing multiplicity of non-linguistic clues to assist students in interpreting input. So the natural approach demands a much more center stage role for the teachers than do many contemporary communicative methods. So next to this, the natural approach teacher creates a classroom atmosphere that is interesting, friendly, and in which there is a low affective filter for learning. Meaning, as a teacher, we must encourage our students to practice and try until they achieve their goals. So we must maintain the motivation within our students until they achieve the goals that they want to achieve. So the last in the natural approach classroom is the instructional materials. So the primary goal of the materials in the natural approach is to make the classroom activities as meaningful as possible by supplying the extra linguistic content that helps the acquirer to understand and thereby to acquire. The another aim of materials is to promote comprehension and communication. They also facilitate the acquisition of a large vocabulary within the classroom. So the another recommended materials includes schedules, brochures, advertisements, maps, books at level appropriate to the students.